My name is Katie Pastor, and I am a 28-year-old marketing associate from Cleveland, Ohio. And if you couldn't already tell, I'm a huge Ms. Marvel fan. My love for comics grew at a really early age. I was about 5 years old, and my uncle had this huge filing cabinet full of comics and would pull one out and say, who is this character and what is their special power? And I would just be able to rattle it off like it was nothing. So naturally, when the 90s X-Men TV show came out, I was a huge fan. I loved Rogue. She was just the coolest until I saw the episode where she stole Ms. Marvel's powers. And I was like, oh my gosh, what gives? That's so unfair that this poor girl had these awesome powers and Rogue just stole them. So I learned more about Ms. Marvel and learned she had this amazing backstory, and she went out into outer space and met the Kree aliens and was part of the Avengers, and now they're talking about potentially making a movie for her, which would be way cool. So a couple years ago when I started cosplaying, Ms. Marvel was definitely a character I wanted to do, and I handmade this costume and actually wore it to the Lexington Comic-Con and got selected as one of the best costumes there. I actually got over 1,200 votes, putting me at the top of the list for best costume, which was amazing. Now, as much as I love to wear spandex, this is not part of my dress code at work, and I would love to be able to show the passion I have for Ms. Marvel in a professional environment. And I think having a statue or a bust of Ms. Marvel would be a really good talking point that I could proudly display on my desktop. Now, I've looked for things, statues like this at cons, and I've looked online, and it's really hard to see what you might find because she's kind of an obscure character. I'd like to pay around $100, and I want to buy it from a place that is just as passionate about comics as what I am. I think that's what the Secret Stash provides. These guys are totally into comics. It's part of their life. It's part of their childhood. That's my life too. And there's no better place to be buying one of the things I'm most passionate about from guys who are just as passionate as I am. That would be the best. So I would love to go to the shop in person, in costume, buy my Ms. Marvel statue, and just have a blast of a time. So thank you so much, and I appreciate your consideration.